us once again make clear that which most do not seem to understand. This podcast is marked as explicit not because it offers a mature look into the world of topics not meant for the young or immature, but because it mucks about in very appalling, gormless, and tasteless filth whilst reveling in it. Cinema Psyops aims to drag you down into the very same muck, filled with sexual deviancy and decayed morality. Cinema Psyops. They heap weekly praise on such filth while discussing the most base and animalistic urges, reviewing the lowest common denominator of low-grade trash ever considered film. When you look at the state of the world around you and you realize how little time you have left to be happy, do you really want to waste that time you have left listening to Cinema Psyops? They were variously characterized by responsible people as young punks, common hoodlums, and drunken kids. The dignity and respect of our citizens, old as well as young, high as well as low. His mother says he was a normal, happy boy until he became obsessed with Cinema Psyops.
You become almost absorbed in it. It is a driving force. You have to have it. I hate it so much that I've seen if it's done to the camera and personal level. And I want to see it banned. I want to see it off the face of the earth.
Yeah, it's amazing, but I think parents have to really pay more attention to what these kids are listening to.
Cancer in children? What's that about? How dare you? How dare you create a world in which there is such a division of our people? It's not right. It's utterly evil. Why should I respect the capriciously minded, stupid God who creates a world which is sinful, injustice and pain? Because the God who created this universe, if he was created by God, is quite clearly a maniac. Utter maniac. Totally selfish. Make them blind. Why did you do that to us? Who had got to do that? A maniac. We could easily have made a creation which that doesn't exist. It is simply not acceptable. Cinema Psyops.
I want to see it banned. I want to see it off the face of the earth.
And welcome to the 389th consecutive week of Cinema Psyops. I'm your host, Court, the guy who's got an obsessive need to buy a box set and cover every movie that's inside of it. And my long-suffering co-host is the one who's got to do the review from the box set for this week, which is Matt!
I mean, what was this shit even about?
I'm pretty sure that it was supposed to just be like a prelude to horse fucking that never showed up.
Yeah, I know, right? I kept thinking there was going to be horse fucking, especially during one scene, and we didn't get shit.
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of glad. I'm not really all that upset about that, actually.
Yeah, no, it's good that there was no horse fucking, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it went right up to the line of really, really poor taste and just stepped back classily, like with a lot of class.
Yeah, exactly. But holy shit, man. What a morning already.
This horse sex is a thing.
It really is. It's starting to be. He's not wrong. How's your life, man? How's everything going?
A segue when Matt's got things that he doesn't want to talk about, but he really wants to go off on something and he's just waiting for an excuse.
I can't. It's just fuck. Sometimes I hate technology. It's just fucking barrel chest me into the goddamn world.
I'm determined to have your brain.
I can't find the quote that I'm looking for. Well, everything's fine.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Matt's having a whole lot of shit ton of technological issues. I am slowly but surely losing interest in doing this show.
I fucking just lost right now my ability of I do this for a living and I shouldn't be having these kind of problems, but you don't
podcast for a living. You do tech work for a living. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah, but I'm having tech problems, so that's what's. And thank God I have a tech background. Can you imagine if I didn't and was having these problems? I'd just be crying in a puddle someplace.
Yeah. That's the thing about
I would be driving to your place already just to do the recording at your house.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about a car guy is like a mechanic that just keeps the same junker car working over and over again because that's all they can afford to do because that's just where life is stuck. Well, you're a computer guy just trying to keep the same laptop going to do your hobby that brings you some joy.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, goddamn, yeah, you're you motherfucker. That's really good.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to take care of everybody else's computer and get their shit up and running when it's on your job and you got to do it. But when it's your own time, you're just like a furnace fighter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just trying to keep what I have running and not having to pry open my wallet to buy something new.
Yeah, we've all been there, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh man, so this closes out the Laraz box set, and I don't know, man. It definitely is variations on a theme with this guy, and even though I felt from the cover of this film that it was just gonna
jumped right into horse fucking,
it never does.
Yeah, and he gets close to horse fucking in a lot of his movies. This whole box set has some horse fucking in it.
He has a predilection. He must have had an obsession with a story about Catherine the Great or something.
I don't know, man. There are a lot of people who like a lot of horse fucking. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, speaking of horse fucking and the lack thereof in the film, due to the overusage of horses and the symbolism of horse parts in this film, I'm just going to go right out and say it. We have a very equestrian theme for the music for the pirate radio edit. It's going to have something to do with horses in some way, shape, or form. And some of the lyrics get downright suggestive in ways that may be actually talking about some of the things that the film was hinting at too.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're gonna if you could find a time for some equestrian music, this is the time to use it.
Up first, we're gonna have Kenny Rogers with "She Rides Wild Horses," but before that, we're gonna have the Legion Patreon ad, and then we will talk about The Coming of Sin, which we never even said the name of the movie. I just realized that when we come back.
This'll keep it quiet. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. You caught me cutting a new show. I'm Bo Ransdell, and I'm one of the many creators you can find on Legion Podcasts. I said quiet! My fellow podcasters and I work hard to bring you the best in horror podcasting, but that comes at a cost.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Not that, but also yes. No, what I'm getting at is that there are server costs for good microphones and software for editing, all the things that make our shows, fun to listen to. And you can help. If you're enjoying the shows on legionpodcasts.com or in the Legion Network available on iTunes and Stitcher, just about anywhere you can download a podcast, really, you can help us out and get a little something for your trouble at patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. For just $2 a month, you get a pair of movie commentaries exclusive to Patreon, and for $5, you can also join us for a monthly screening of a movie. All of that available on patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. We appreciate it, and thank you for listening. Now, back to the cutting room.
like it's a little bit on the nose now when you know it might actually happen in the movie.
I know, but man, that's maybe the most mellow song you've ever played on the show in our history, man.
It's certainly a candidate. It's definitely up there. And it's
man,
making me feel a little too relaxed. We need to get talking about the movie to wake me up.
All right, well, let's get talking about some horse fucking then.
It doesn't jump right into it just yet.
It does not. No, it doesn't. But I'm just saying.
The coming of sin right now.
Yeah, the coming of sin. First 20. Well, we hear some bells ringing in a town and a woman's painting, and that's kind of our intro. Much like all the other movies in this box set, the intro, all the credits are at the beginning. It's not as long as the last one. So that's nice. But it's still, you can tell everything's put out here. So
this is an amalgamation of 3 different credit sequences that were from 3 different markets that they loved the shooting and thought it was all so beautiful that they made this longer extended credit sequence out of all of them, if the special features are to be believed.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, some peeps are driving, a man, a woman, and a young lady in the back seat. They pull up to this lady who is painting's house. There's some dialogue. So guess what? That's our first clip.
This is the way.
Come along, Triana.
Hello, Sally.
Hello, Lorna. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Hi, Malcolm.
Hi, Lorna.
Yes, this is Triana.
Hi.
Say hello to Mrs. Lorna Weston. Lorna and I have been friends for years.
Hello.
We do have 1 or 2 things to talk about before I leave.
We'll sit in here. Come on in, Triana.
Triana will be a little shy to begin with. I think I told you she's a gypsy.
Why don't you ask Malcolm to come in and have a drink?
Oh, I think he's happier with his paper.
All right. That doesn't mean you can't have one. Now tell me why you were so mysterious on the phone. Come on, Sally. Out with it.
There's no mystery, darling.
Whiskey's your drink, isn't it?
Yes, thanks. Triana plays the guitar. She's quite a gifted musician. It's so quiet and peaceful here.
Mm-hmm. That's why I built this house.
But don't you ever feel lonely?
I've learned to enjoy my own company.
I'd be afraid to live out here on my own.
What's there to be afraid of?
The things they say on the news.
I wouldn't know about that. I never listen to the news.
Lorna, dear, Malcolm is being sent to England. The most we'd be away a month or 2. Which means we have to do something about Triana. Malcolm believes that taking her would be too much of a problem. He has a lot of business to take care of and will be moving around all the time.
Yes, I'm sure.
The point I'm trying to make is, would you be kind enough to take care of her? I mean, until we get back, darling. She doesn't have any family, so that your child grew up in an orphanage. Naturally, I'd continue to pay her salary.
Oh, don't be silly. Where she enjoys staying here, that's the important thing.
I think she's bound to. Something else. She's a marvelous cook, and she'll be able to help around the house.
What more could I want? It sounds perfect. It won't be a problem, Sally.
You don't know how much I appreciate this. You're an angel. I'll miss her. She's like one of the family. Thank you, Lorna.
I'm glad to be able to help out.
I almost forgot to tell you. Triana has this recurring nightmare. You should know about it, darling, but there's no need to take it too seriously. Now, try and behave. I don't want to come back and find you've caused Lorna all kinds of problems.
Oh, there's no reason to worry.
This recurring nightmare of hers, well, the poor child's rather neurotic. You understand.
Yes, of course.
Triana, goodbye, dear. You'll like her. Try and be as understanding as you can. Bye. Many thanks again, darling.
Don't mention it. Have a nice time in England. I hope you do lots of business, Malcolm.
Thanks, Lorna. Bye.
Bye. If you want to go to bed, there's no need to wait for me.
I'm not tired yet.
Okay. Do you like it?
Oh, yes, very much.
It could be you. Tell me, can you read?
No.
It's called Oranges and Lemons.
I don't see any lemons. Where are they?
Should I teach you how to read?
What for?
Oh, a lot of reasons. I mean, you could better yourself. It's the basis of education. You could read this on your own. A whole new world would open up for you. How old are you, Triana?
18 in February.
And what do you enjoy doing the most?
Dancing.
Are you a very good guitarist?
No, I'm not. No, I don't want to.
But don't you play? Why did Sally say you played guitar?
I don't know.
Won't you try? What's this nightmare Sally said you've been having? Tell me about it. I've always been fascinated by dreams.
I'm frightened by dreams.
So I understand. I've never had a nightmare. Sometimes I don't want to wake up because the dream I'm having is so beautiful.
Mine's not.
Tell me about it, Triana.
A guy on a horse chases me. It's the same every night.
Is that so bad? Why does it frighten you? I think as a gypsy you'd be accustomed to seeing men on horses.
If you don't mind, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh. My friend Sally is obviously very fond of you. I hope we'll become very good friends. Well? Right. I'm going to have a bath and then go to bed. I won't be long. You can have one too if you like. I'm strict about only one thing in my house. That is that you keep your room clean and bathe regularly. You understand? And don't forget to turn out the lights when you go up to bed. What time have you been getting up in the morning at the Granges?
8 o'clock.
That suits me. Breakfast at 8:30.
Is everybody still awake after that?
Right? No shit. What the hell? But there's a lot of important information in there.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole lot of backstory. Also, there's some attitudes in this film that are pretty fucked about the Romani people and women in general. Just brace yourself, folks. You've been warned. They hint at it here, and it only gets worse.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's bath time, and our host is taking a bath. And,
thank you, movie.
Thank you, movie. And then she rubs herself down with lotions and such. So again, thank you, movie.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you, movie.
Yeah, that was a good time. Then the visitor, she dreams of a naked dude on a horse. We also see the visitor's boobs as she's sleeping. She sleeps nude, so that's a thank you, movie. But yeah, she has her dream about this dude on a horse, and so there's our first horse.
And by the way, the dude is completely Starkers, and you see a little hint of pubes, and you just wonder how he can ride a horse and not destroy his junk smashing between him and the horse without a pouch or something to hold it up in place.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. That seems like something else right there.
Yeah, riding a horse naked if you've got something that hangs off of you like that right in that area where you would be straddling the horse seems like a poor plan.
I'll say this. Talent. That's a talent. We got to give this person credit. That's a talent.
The fact that he can do that and still use his junk, yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. So after this, she wakes up and all of a sudden the dude is out there on his horse,
naked,
stomping on the garden, naked as the day he was born. So Jesus.
The movie is not going to make sense, folks. It's just going to get more dreamlike and weird from here.
Yeah. So anyways, the visitor, she goes out and she starts shooting at the guy with the horse, and the owner of the house, she comes out and admonishes her. They have breakfast, and that is our next clip.
I'm liking this little Spitfire lady.
Yeah, right.
One thing to dream about a man on a horse chasing you, but that doesn't mean you should shoot at the first one who comes along. Do you take milk? Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Manners are important. I've never seen anything like him. What possesses him to go riding around in the nude? He must be some kind of weird exhibitionist. A variation on flashing with a raincoat in a public park. It's pretty terrible, I know. But he didn't deserve to be shot at. He obviously needs psychiatric help. Ignore him if you see him again. Maybe he is the one you see in that mysterious nightmare of yours. Do you know him? He's a gypsy too, isn't he? It might be his primitive way of courting you. Who knows? It has to stop, whatever it is. If he comes back, I'll have a few words with him.
No.
Why shouldn't I?
Forget it.
But why does he frighten you, Triana?
He's evil and he wants to kill me.
Oh, I see. Didn't you want to kill him?
I hate him.
There's a very thin line between hate and love.
I know. If we ever become lovers, somebody will die, that's all. It's written on my hand.
It's awfully melodramatic. Aren't you exaggerating a little?
Just when you thought the film couldn't get weirder, folks.
Yeah, they talk about victim blaming. But anyway.
Yeah, kind of gross.
So, yeah, we get to everyone's doing some chores during the day. The visitor lady, she's hanging some sheets, and she sees, again, the naked dude on the horse. The naked dude then rides off, frolics at a stream for a little bit. The visitor, her name's Triana. She looks at a painting and then gives a back rub to our host, Lorna, and that is our next clip.
You like that? Yes, lovely. It'd be nice if it never stopped. Triana. Yes. Tell me something, will you? How long were you working for the Grangers? What's the difference? I want to know. Tell me. The whole of last winter. You were happy working for them? I didn't like Mr. Granger. No? No. They're both sort of strange. We're all pretty strange in our own way. It depends on the problems we've got. Mr. Granger was always picking on me. Oh, he was? Do you know why? Yes. He was jealous because he thought Mrs. Granger was taking too much trouble over me. Malcolm, jealous? Don't be ridiculous. It's not being ridiculous. That's why they left me with you. He told Mrs. Granger he wouldn't have me in the house. You overheard that? Yes. Mrs. Granger got angry with him. They spent most of the night talking and arguing. I think my friend thought she was in love with you. Was she? You can tell me. Green almond eyes have always been one of Sally's weaknesses. Why won't you answer? Stop staring at the carpet. When I talk to somebody, I like to have her attention. Now tell me, was she in love with you? I might have guessed.
Things are getting a little tense.
Yes, and that is the end of the first 20 minutes of the movie.
All right, so the film has a very slow build-up. They're trying to dance around these characters, but the nightmares definitely hint at something very sinister coming this way. The dude who rides the horse naked doesn't really ever get explained. I think at one point he does say that it helps him feel the horse better.
Yeah, it helps him grip.
Yeah, it helps
I don't know what he's gripping with, but I would imagine...
Clearly it's his cock.
I would imagine he's doing it wrong, but then again, I don't know horses, so I don't know.
Maybe it's his butt cheeks. Maybe he uses his butt cheeks.
Yeah, right.
To grip the horse's hide a little better.
Yeah, that's right. That's his glute exercises.
Hey, if you're into the body type that guy particularly is, like if you find that attractive, well, I can totally see where this dude riding around nude on a horse is working for you. I totally can get that. It doesn't work for me, so I'm just going to be uncomfortable the entire time.
Naked people with animals don't work for me at all. It's kind of like naked stuff with food. I don't like it near the food, and I don't like it near animals. Can we just leave things alone?
Yeah, that's fair. He is rubbing his junk on a horse against its will, basically.
That horse didn't ask for that. Just put a saddle on him like a goddamn civilized person.
At least have a piece of cloth between you two.
Yeah, something. God damn, that poor fucking horse.
His piece is riding up against your armor.
Yeah, no shit. Goddamn horse. He has no protection. Just sitting there. Guy's not even wearing fucking pants. No saddle. I mean, come on.
Just feeling that ham pressed up against your...
It's like the people who won't wear masks during COVID into the stores. Just wear a mask, goddammit. And this guy should wear pants and put a saddle on that fucking horse.
The horse didn't ask for this is basically your review of the first 20 minutes.
Pretty much, yes. The horse didn't ask for any of this.
I can't argue that.
And I get a feeling the horse gets a lot of blame for this shit. He shouldn't. What is he doing?
Yeah, the horse is a victim in all of this as well.
Yeah, exactly.
We can move on.
All right. Next 20 minutes, Lorna is in the tall grass, as I call it. It's just some kind of swamp area or something. I just call it the tall grass because it looks like tall grass. She has a cigarette and she sees the naked horseman who's also watching her. They lock eyes and then he turns and rides away. We cut to dinner time and that's our next clip.
Nothing. Is there anything wrong with the food? Shall I get something else? No, it's okay. You go ahead. It's getting cold. I can make you an omelette. It'll only take a couple of minutes. No, this is delicious. It's just that I'm not hungry. We'll take a bite at least. You must eat something. Would you mind if I come into town with you tomorrow morning? Please, ma'am, if it's not too much to ask. I didn't bring in the wine. No, wait a minute. Yes, I saw that man again this afternoon. He was very close. I went down to the river hunting. He appeared out of the blue. I didn't spot him until he was almost on top of me. Without a stitch on, just like before. Isn't that strange? A complete weirdo. You must have been frightened. No. Maybe I was shocked, but not the least bit frightened. Perhaps because I was so utterly surprised to find myself in that situation. He's a beautiful-looking guy. He didn't seem to give out bad vibes. Did he say anything? Not that I remember. He just kept staring at me with those lovely eyes. They're almost identical to yours. Then what happened? Nothing. I'm afraid the outcome was disappointing. Just when I wasn't expecting it. He galloped away and I was alone again.
You must be careful. He's dangerous.
The first impression I had was I couldn't help thinking what a lovely couple you'd make. An ideal subject I'd like to paint you.
Okay, so far this kid hasn't really done much other than ride around naked, but she's still having dreams where he is like assaulting her, and we can't tell what's real and what isn't at some points.
And now she wants to paint him like one of her French girls.
Basically, for the same reason that she's like, I think you guys would make a great couple. And all of this feels very surreal and vaguely hinting at some kind of dark supernatural force going on because the guy looks kind of devilish.
Yeah, I feel like I drank some Hallelujah, all right? And things have gotten weird. That's what it feels like.
Ayahuasca, huh?
Ayahuasca, yeah. I feel like I got just fucking blitzed, and now I'm sitting here not knowing what the hell's going on.
Well, that's usually a state that you're used to, so your review of this should be pretty detailed.
Not blitzed. Well, I mean, yeah, blitz too. Shit. All right. Anyway, fuck off. Lorna then takes our young lady out shopping the next day and buys her a necklace, which the young lady really enjoys. They look at some art, and a naked painting is Trina feel a certain way. She starts sweating staring at it, so she feels a certain way about this painting.
I believe that's called the vapors.
Yeah, right. They get home, and there's a big storm, and there's no power, and they're lighting some candles and sharing some more story. So that's our next clip.
The storm doesn't frighten me, does it? Yes. Would you like to have a drink or something to eat?
No.
Yes, no. Yes, no. Cheer up. Get the can opener. We'll have some ham.
A man I used to know was killed during a thunderstorm when lightning struck the tree he was standing under. He was burnt to a crisp, black all over except for his teeth.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've been scared of lightning ever since then. I'm not going to bed till it's over.
Triana, there's no need for that. Come on now. You can't stay up all night. If you like, you can come and sleep with me. We'll keep each other company.
Thank you.
I had someone close to me who was killed in a car crash. Only he wasn't just a friend. He was my husband. Watch the step. Apparently he skidded off the road and smashed into a tree. Suicide or an accident. Nobody saw it, so I'll never know. It wasn't a great emotional shock. Through here. We'd been at each other's throats so long, there was nothing left between us.
All right. So, I mean, we got some story here with everyone. I like the, you can sleep in bed with me. It'll be fine. It's like, yeah, I'm sure.
Boom, chicka, bow, wow. It is a Laraz film, and he does go for it.
He really does. And so, Trina then is like, she stares out the window while the storm's going, and she senses something, we feel. And Lorena's asked her what's going on. She's like, nothing. That night they get into bed. Triana's like, oh, I, by the way, sleep in the nude. So thank you, movie.
Yeah, very much so.
Then they get their freak on. So
all consensual. So thank you very much, movie. Yeah.
Yep. But they get their freak on.
Goes right up to the edge of hardcore porn in a couple of the scenes.
Yeah. Just right at the edge. So, let's see here. Then we're back to the tall grass, and Trina's walking in it now. Triana. Then the man, he's out there. He's chewing on some grass, enjoying himself, but gets on his horse and rides. He then attacks her and tries to rape her. In fact, he gets to the closest point he can get before she hits him over the head with a rock and retreats. And that's the end of that 20 minutes. So we've had now an attack.
Did the attack actually happen, or was this just another dream of hers? I could not tell.
It actually happens because then she tells Lorna about it later.
Okay. Everything was so dreamlike. Everything is so dreamlike that I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't at this point. So I took it that, well, she feels that it's real and not one of her dreams. So then it's real. And I'll go from there because I'm supposed to be following this character. But it was really hard to determine because the film doesn't bother differentiating her waking and dreaming lives.
That's true. It's a weird, wild stuff, I guess.
Yeah, it's really surrealistic, and I don't envy you having to do these notes. But you're doing an excellent job of describing everything as it occurs on screen, even though none of it makes any sense.
None of this makes any sense. It's if you read my notes, you would think, well, Matt just got super high and didn't actually watch half a movie and then made up the other half. So that's what it would seem like.
Yeah. This is probably the most discombobulated of the Laraz films that we have covered.
Yeah.
It's very dreamlike, and I don't know if it was intentionally that way or if it was just like scattershot thrown together. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, I think it's scatter shots thrown together. I don't know. I think somebody gave him some money and he didn't quite know what he wanted to do with it.
Oh, okay. So you think it was more of an unplanned sort of chaos than a planned chaos?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what it seems to me a lot of these times.
Okay, that's fair. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. The next 20 starts. Triana's playing some guitar for Lorena, and that is our next clip.
Aren't you happy here? Yes, but I want to leave all the same. Do you mind telling me why? Because he keeps coming around. Whenever I go out, he bothers me. Yesterday I went for a walk down by the river and he tried to rape me for the second time. You would have too, but I almost knocked him out with a rock. You mean he's tried to rape you before? Yes. Is that the experience Sally mentioned? Yes.
Then we cut to Lorena's cleaning her gun, and Triana hears a horse. Then the naked man comes to the door. Yet he's not naked. He is very clothed, and that is our next clip.
This is yours. I found it down by the river.
No, ma'am, don't let him into the house. Stop being silly and rude. That's no way to treat someone who comes to the door. The least you could do is thank him for bringing back your necklace. Please come in. No, don't. He's dangerous. Control yourself, for God's sake. I won't have you acting like this in my presence. I'll leave if you leave. Triana, if you can't control yourself, you can go to bed. Please, come in. Sit down. Oh, you've hurt yourself.
Not really. It was yesterday. I wasn't looking when my horse went under a low branch. That'll teach me.
Go make some coffee. Oh, and while you're at it, would you bring my cigarettes, please? I left them on the... I've always been very fond of horses. You ride very well bareback, but naked and with no saddle. Isn't it, I don't know, rather uncomfortable?
Not at all. Makes it easy to grip the horse.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there is one thing. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't gallop over my flowers. You can come and visit us whenever you want, but bring your manners with you. How about it? And not in the nude. Well, I haven't seen you around before. You live around here?
You want one of these? They're strong.
Thank you. They're the kind I smoke.
Oh, you look like the mild and mental type.
I was once married to an Italian. He got me hooked on this kind of tobacco. Why don't you sit down? Try not to look so glum. My name's Lorna.
My name's Chico.
No, it's not. It's Raphael. Chico or Raphael? Well, which is it?
Chico.
Good. I mean, you really don't look like a Raphael. That's interesting. You two know each other.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, I don't want to stick my nose into other people's business, but if you're trying to court Triana, I think you're going about it the wrong way. She's got a thing about guys on horses, so you won't catch her by galloping after her.
Do you go riding?
No, I never learned how to.
Well, if you like, I'll teach you. It's not that difficult. Basically, it's a question of getting over your fear. A horse can sense how you feel about him. The way you approach him, the way you touch him, for the first time is important. Tells him his boss.
I'd like to give it a try.
Okay, you're on.
Oh, but not on that lovely horse of yours. If you ask me, he's too much for a beginner.
Don't worry, he'll love you.
No, Chico, you've got to find me one with a much sweeter temperament.
I promise you it's perfectly safe. You can take my word for it. Come on, don't worry.
Well, I'll think it over. Do you live in town, Chico?
No, I've got a shack down by the river.
What on earth made you come and live up here? I'll tell you why, because he followed me.
I like to live alone.
That goes for me, too. We're a couple of old hermits.
Jesus, man. What?
Yeah.
The attitude
Just
in this
allow them.
Okay,
just allow the man in who attemptedly raped your guest, I guess. I mean, what a fucking what the hell?
And how the fuck do you handle it by saying if you intend to court her? I mean, like, this man attempted to rape her. That's not intend to court. This is a very poor attitude to have about this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like really bad. Like,
it's way too fucking cavalier to be handling it in such a way, too.
Ooh, yeah, that is bad. That's bad stuff.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah, really bad. Oof, God damn. All right, let's see here. All right. So that night, Triana is sleeping and she has dreams of the dude on the horse and he's riding towards her. Then so she dreams that she's in the back end of a gold horse and she's ass up. So her ass is where the horse's ass is.
It's
and
a poster of the film. Yeah.
Yeah. And Naked Man is right around on his horse, and you almost get that weird feeling that they're about to do some horse fucking. Jumped right into horse fucking. That's what it looked like at first.
This horse sex is a thing.
Yeah. So, but it never gets there. And she wakes up and she's having stomach pains, probably an ulcer from having to worry about this dude.
Well, and if you think about it, they may be hinting that in her dream she was getting shafted by the horse and she woke up and is feeling phantom stomach pains or something.
Yeah, something like that. Either way.
Get fucked with a horse.
Yeah, exactly. So then she watches as the next day as this Chico gives riding lessons happens to Lorena, and she does not look, pleased that this is happening.
The man assaulted her, and now her caregiver is just hanging out with him.
Like, hey, this is fine. Nothing bad about this, right? How could any of this go wrong?
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
Oh my god. So, anywho, the Triana, she goes into town and visits an old woman, and this is our next clip.
My child, what are you doing here if you already know what is written in the palm of your hand? Are you hoping for a better answer than the one I've already given you from the cards? Come on, then. All right. Now tell me why you've come. Sit down. What is it?
I want you to cast your evil eye on this man. I know a lot of your spells have worked, and they've even been known to kill people. You do black magic, don't you? I want you to use it on this man. I hate him. He keeps following me. What's the matter with your cat?
She can sense your hate, and it frightens her. Tell me, child, why should I hurt this person? It won't change your destiny. What's written here is written. There's nothing you can do about it. You will have a relationship with a man, and someone will die. That's the only reason why you were born. There's nothing else written in your palm. No future and no past. You're a child of the devil. I know you as one of us, but I see only evil.
All I want to know is when to stop persecuting me.
When you stop avoiding him.
If I give in to his lust, then according to you, somebody will die.
It's fated.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. It's like everyone's fault. It's always her fault. That's it.
I mean, there is some allegorical stuff to be read into this about the fate of a female's choice in her own sexuality and how that gets read in society. I mean, there is some definite hints of some things there with this, but mostly it's just salacious and over the top.
Very much so, yeah.
Once you see the naked lady posed in a hollowed out horse that is clearly designed to get her to get fucked by a horse.
Yeah.
It all goes downhill from there.
You're all just in the exploitative train. Welcome to the ride.
Yep.
All right. So then Lorna, she's asleep, and a new Triana comes in and joins her, and she goes downtown on her. So they have another little moment here. So, I mean, thanks, movie.
Right up to the line of hardcore in the shots of all of this as well.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then we're back to horseback riding. And that night, all three are sitting down for a drink. The Chico, Lorna, and Triana. And that is our next clip.
There's something about that head, and the bloodthirsty lady makes me think of Triana.
It's Salome.
Triana would cut my head off if she ever had the chance. You would, wouldn't you?
You should see the original. It's magnificent. Do you ever go to art museums?
No, it's not my scene.
Porno movies are his style. That's a shame. It's John the Baptist's head. Nastiest. It was offered to Salome on a plate of solid silver. She was a nasty piece of work. One of the world's great dancers. She'd do her number with the veils, and Herod would give her anything she wanted.
Great body.
The model for this was a Spanish aristocrat. She was married into the royal family.
I wouldn't have thought people with money would have done that kind of work.
Chico, if you're rich, then you do whatever the hell you like. And get paid for it as well. Money always comes in handy, though.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not wrong. So then they spend the night drinking, and Lorna gets, they're all getting real hot and sweaty while drinking. And Lorna is getting really hammered. And then they decide to carry her up to the room that ends at 20 before we get into the final third.
Gonna just stop it there, huh? That's probably a good place.
Well, yeah, it's a good place before, because after this is kind of like the last calm before the storm, because then we get pretty wild and crazy here coming up. So
okay, so the hollowed out horse with the women inside of it has all sorts of connotations that go like back all the way to like Roman times, where I guess even they had their own myths around this, or fetish or belief structure or something along that lines, with women and large equestrian animals getting it on. There's that whole Catherine the Great myth thing that goes along with what was said about her and horses. Yeah. So they're playing with that imagery, but they're going right up to, but not quite over the line. Like you don't even see the horse like attempt to mount or anything like that. Like they don't even go that far. And it's still kind of uncomfortable just because they built the device and the woman is sitting in it. And like the way that they have her wake up and grab her stomach is pretty horrifying. And then it just keeps building. Like there's this sexual assault, and then it's just played off like it's nothing. And now she's interested in the guy, and
it's all just kind of gross, but we can see something's got to come to a head. She's obsessed with this guy who the person who's staying with her, who she's also having relations with, hates. like hates and wants him dead. And it's playing with a chemistry set you've been drinking.
Yeah. Okay. The other part of it too is the older woman and this guy are getting into each other, but the older woman and her younger female charge are also into each other. And this whole prophecy of this younger charge, if she is with a man, then basically it's essentially if she's in a threesome, then the other woman will die is the prophecy. Like she knows this is going to happen. And yet like everybody still plays this out, even though everybody's still aware that there's this prophecy that says that this is going to happen.
But nobody believes the prophecy except for her.
Right. So it's just the film is trying to barrel you towards a threesome, and they're just going a really long stretch and trying to tell you a story that justifies why they're going to show you a threesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one of the people that's supposed to be involved in this threesome is so goddamn inebriated it makes you uncomfortable what's going to happen next. So we should move on.
Yeah, this is going to be bad. Well, they get her up to the bed, and they pretty much just want her to sleep. But Lauren's like, no, she wants to bone. She wants to go to Bone Town. In fact, she says she wants to bone until she's dead, or something like that, until she can't take it anymore, or something. It's just, okay, we get it. You want to go to Bone Town. That's good for you.
All of this clips.
Yeah. Oh man. So
they tried to put her to bed. She wants to bone.
Yeah. So then they're like, well, they strip her down and they decide he's gonna bone her, but they tie her down so she doesn't thrash drunkenly. And he bones her all the while as Trina's like kissing her and biting her. I thought we were gonna go back to a vampire movie here, but we didn't. And
thank you, movie.
Yeah, right. So then we get to the next morning where the ladies are talking, and that's our next clip.
After last night, I'm not surprised. I can't remember a thing. I got the impression the walls were going to come crashing down on top of me, and I was trying to hold them up. Anything like that happen?
Nearly.
I've never been through anything like that before. It was stupid of me to let it happen. Maybe we should change the subject.
The fortune teller saw death written on my hand.
That's bullshit. What are you thinking about? A subject I could use for a painting.
What subject?
I'm not sure. It was just an idea.
What sort of things do you like to paint?
Nothing special. Apart, that is, from copying masters like Goya.
Why don't you paint Jesus?
It's not original enough.
I'd love to be able to paint the things I think about, like my nightmare.
Can't you get that out of your head? If I thought you'd read them, I'd lend you some books, Triana, that would give you a chance to understand your nightmare. After all, it's only a dream. Your fear of horses is based on your fear of being sexually exploited by the opposite sex. To you, man is the worst kind of animal. On the other hand, not all men are the same.
It's not sex I'm frightened of.
You're not afraid of being exploited?
No.
Of violence?
It's what the fortune teller read in my hand. I'm absolutely sure if you let that evil man do what he likes, something terrible will happen.
Now, you listen to me. I don't have time for that superstitious bullshit, so forget it. Otherwise, as far as I'm concerned, you can go elsewhere. Triana, I'm too old to be preached to, so if we're going to get along happily together, then will you please understand that you'll have to adapt yourself to my way of living? And to begin with, I'm afraid I don't share your fears. You don't seem to like men. I'm sorry. I happen to. Oh, sure, I admit there are lots of men who consider a woman as a quick romp on the floor, and that's as far as it goes. But on the other hand, if I should meet a guy who knows how to handle, I'd give him everything he wants.
The door was open, so I thought I'd come and say hello.
Hello? I know what we'll do. I'll paint a picture of the two of you.
All right.
I mean, that's again, we have to say this. She was like, this guy tried to rape me, and this woman's not like, you have to get along with him.
After they had a threesome in which she was tied down and apparently so inebriated she doesn't even remember it.
Yeah,
even though
by the way, that's also a rape.
Yeah, well, it's enthusiastic consent while that's happening because she's actually into them tying her up and she really, really did want it. But I feel like she was definitely way too inebriated.
Yeah.
At that time, to really it was just uncomfortable enough where I was like, maybe let her sober up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe get some coffee or something. Maybe make him a sandwich. I mean, that could help.
Yeah, but I mean, the sex is just weird in this because it is, they were obviously that might have been the plan all along and she just got so inebriated she could really, really enjoy it. And they thought maybe she was too inebriated, but she insisted. Like, if that was the plan all along, then is that okay? Like, where's it's a gray area because it sure seems like had she remembered that that's what happened, she would have wanted to have done it anyway,
I think, but yeah, it's still.
But then the fact
it's not
that
a good look for you, bro.
Yeah, but the fact that she doesn't remember it is really fucking bad, and they all need to have a conversation about that and determine what happened and the consequences of it.
Yeah, right.
But the film just blows over that like it's nothing, right?
She's just going to make this young lady be in a painting with her attempted rapist. That's, I don't know, man. There's some weird stuff
Who
going
was
on
just willingly in a threesome with her attempted
Yeah.
rapist, which is even weirder.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys, I don't know what the message here is.
It's ambiguous and I'm confused and uncomfortable, and we can move on.
All right. Well, she paints her pic and then he checks it out and they talk more. And well, okay, that's our next one.
Do you like it?
When you're finished, do you mind if I show it around a bit to my friends and the family?
Are you serious?
Sure I am.
It would be a lot of fun to do that. We can organize a vernissage. Bring them all here.
You're putting me on.
No, I mean it. We'll have a party at the same time.
You can't be serious. You can't be serious inviting more filth like him in this beautiful house. They'll rip off everything, break things. You won't be left with anything, not even the light bulbs. Don't do it, please.
Don't talk about my family like that.
Get out.
No, I won't. At least I have a family, which is more than you have, you whore. You don't even know where you come from.
Get out. Stop it now. Get out. Come on, that's enough.
No, let her go. She wouldn't dare. You don't scare me.
My God, who the hell do you think you are? Who gave you the right to talk like that? One more outburst like that and you can both get out. I've just begun a painting with you as my models. To be quite honest, I was enjoying it. If you collaborate, it'll be fun for all of us. Please try to behave.
I'll do whatever you want me to.
All I want is that the two of you behave like civilized adults and put an end to this superstitious nonsense and ridiculous arguing. We can start with the three of us being friends. That isn't too difficult, is it?
Can we all just forget the mutual sexual assaults that have occurred in all of our presences and just be
We'll
friends?
just all be friends. Yeah, come on. Come on.
Not so sure I like the message of this film, my man.
The messaging of this film is substandard. Anyway, they have a big celebration house party, and then Chico and Lorna, they go inside into a room, and he strips her down, and they go to Pound Town.
Seems pretty consensual, so thank you, movie.
Yeah. Next day, he's riding his horse, and the ladies are washing each other in a bath, and that is our next clip.
Triana, it was a moment of madness, that's all.
Chico's only looking to have a good time.
Perhaps he is.
He wants to take advantage of you because you're rich. He's nothing but a second-rate crook.
We'll see about that. He is. I don't regret one bit of last night. If you're right, I'll put it down to experience. I don't expect every man to fall in love with me. As far as I'm concerned, love and sex are two completely different things. You can quite easily have one without the other.
Did you enjoy last night?
I know you'll find this difficult to believe, but he's the first man I've been to bed with in a long time. Yes. I think he's a beautiful young man. He really turns me on. He took me violently to start with. At first it was painful, and then I couldn't stop. What's the matter, darling?
I love you.
Yes, I know, my dear. I think it's a perfectly normal reaction. I give you gifts. I take care of you, do my best to educate you. We sleep together and have developed a relationship which can only be described as intimate. A lot of women have physical relationships with other women because they're afraid of men. That may very well be the truth in your case, but not in mine. Our menage a trois is ideal for me. I couldn't ask for anything better. Chico's the image of you, and that's why I want him.
Ooh, smoky.
Yeah. Well, then we cut to Chico's run, Lorna's sunbathing, Trina's washing the floors. I don't know. Seems a little bit fucked up that everyone else is having some fun and Trina's got to wash floors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little subservience going on.
Yeah. Anyway, Trina then brings Lorna some food, but Lorna's not hungry, and they argue again because she's like, that Chico's using Lorna, and Lorna says that she doesn't really care about Chico. She can find him whenever she wants. She's not waiting for him, and she's like, dudes. She takes men with a grain of salt, so she's just like uses them. So she's like, hey, he's not using me, I'm using him, type shit. Oh, and it's like, hey, all right. I mean, however anybody wants to do it, but can maybe not him, a rapist.
Yeah,
just saying. Anyway, then Lorna goes and visits Chico at his little hut, and that is our next clip.
I love you.
You don't love me. It's lust.
What does it matter?
I prefer it that way. I want you to. I came here because I need to spend some time with a man. I've never been crazy about men. But with you, it's something different. You're not a man. You're like a green monkey. Have you ever heard that story? About the people who would go into the jungle, catch a monkey and paint it green. When they took it back, the other monkeys would attack the poor thing and kill it, just because it was different from them. Not because it was dangerous, but because it was different.
No, that's really romantic. Would you like to see me dead?
Oh, no, not yet. Do you know that Triana dreams about you every night? She's very faithful to you in her own way.
Like a terminal illness.
You don't understand her problem.
What problem? I don't have time to understand her. I use my head to survive. I follow my instincts, I don't think. To be honest with you, I've never had to. I'm not into deep mind shit. All I worry about is sex. What a woman's body's like. What I can do with it. You don't need to go to school for that. Comes naturally.
So then they bone. They go to Bone Town. Then as Elle is walking back, T takes the rifle and shoots her and kills her out of the blue. T goes back to the house after killing her, has herself a little paper clips moment, and she kind of just throwing herself around when C comes in, and that's our final clip.
It's all your fault, you bastard. You're to blame for her death. You make me sick.
Say it again.
You make me sick. Why don't you go and tell the police?
Why should I do that? I love you. Have done since I first set eyes on you.
It was her death written in my hand.
Right. We've got to get rid of the body. Together. Must keep this between us. They won't know she's gone for weeks. No one ever comes up here, do they? What do you care? She was taking advantage of the pair of us. Like all rich pigs. Wish you had the jewelry and the money.
Okay, so he turns it all class warfare all of a sudden, and I'm like kind of almost on his side.
Yeah. What?
Well, she's rich. She deserved to die.
Oh God, Jesus. Yeah, let's watch that kind of talk. So anyway,
our overlords aren't listening to this podcast.
Yeah. All right. So then they take her body into the stream and they hide it. And T throws her necklace, which she said she'd never take off, into the stream. Those two right away. Roll credits.
Goodness. This film took a really dark twist all of a sudden that made no sense and had no build up for it. And was she murdering her because she wanted the man now, or what? Or just because?
I don't know. It just, there's no point in any of that. This is an hour 30 minutes of life I'll never get back. This is an hour 30 minutes that means nothing, did nothing. It was like you watched nothing for an hour and 30.
Yeah, it was a bunch of disparaging and disjointed images kind of thrown together that almost put a narrative forward that was just basically a loosely wrapped sex film.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if you're coming into this expecting story, then yeah, you're most likely going to be upset. And you're coming in to do a review to try and tell us the story. So it's no wonder that it upset you. Absolutely.
It upset me. There is no story to tell. I told the story, and I did notes. We listened to clips, and I still don't know what the fuck this movie was about.
An hour and 29 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh, you motherfucker. Well done.
Why don't we pull the ripcord on this one? We'll get out of this and we'll just do a quick news story and call it.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So up next, we're going to have Echo and the Bunnymen with the song Bring on the Dancing Horses. And when we come back, we'll have some psyop news. Echo and the Bunnymen with Bring on the Dancing Horses.
All right.
I dig Echo and the Bunnymen. If this is the kind of music that you get into, you definitely should check out. Like if you kind of dug this song, you should definitely check out Echo and the Bunnymen if you've never heard them before. Absolutely. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard them. They're not that obscure. Well, speaking of things that may be obscure, let's give them some psyop news.
well, I found this one, but this is something that's been taking up a lot of Facebook walls with memes and shit.
Okay, so Matt Psyop found this?
Yeah.
He must have an incredibly long penis.
I do not. Anyway, the female cop who got fired for on-duty sex with her coworkers told them she was in open marriage, but apparently never told her husband.
Not in shape, but I don't know how to perform an abortion.
That's also true. In the most predictable development of all time, we have a major update on the Megan Hall, the second-year officer of the Laverne, Tennessee Police Department. After all, the more people involved in a news story, the more layers it's going to have, and the more co-worker sex partners a person has, well, that number will increase exponentially. And Officer Hall's situation is, of course, no exception, because almost lost in all of this is the fact that this law enforcement professional is married. This is from the Daily Mail. Hall, who is married, is also accused of revealing her breasts while at a steamy family Memorial Day boat party. So I don't know if you've heard this story at all. This is a female police officer who's apparently been having sex with a lot of her coworkers. She's married and doing inappropriate things that you're not supposed to be doing while you're in the have a gun strapped to you.
Yeah, I've heard of the story. Yeah.
Hall was open about her relationships with other officers and once bragged to somebody about Officer Powell's dick after performing oral sex on him while on duty, according to the report. Before Hall was officially hired on the force, she had met up at Officer McGowan's house with her husband and another female. At the time, Hall was a candidate and had taken her clothes off along with the other female, a cadet. Hall's husband got upset, the report reads. During that visit, McGowan admitted to taking out his penis with Hall in the room and taking a photo of it. He sent that photo to Hall, but she was already in the room. Don't know why. Okay. Anyway, this whole story just reads like stereo instructions. It might only. All right. So ex-cop Megan Hall said that she and her husband, Jedediah Hall, that's something right there. Jedediah is the name, man. Were in an open marriage, although he did not seem to be on board, according to an internal investigation at the Laverne Police Department.
They're in an open marriage, but he was not notified of such.
He was not informed that they were in an open marriage. Megan and her fellow officers allegedly engaged in wild affairs and included exchanging nude pictures, taking her top off at a hot tub party, and even oral sex with two officers. Megan Hall was ultimately fired for misconduct along with Sergeant Lewis Powell, Officer Juan Lugo, and Sergeant Ty McGowan, and Detective Seneca Shields. Jesus Christ. Two other officers who had allegedly had romps with Hall, Patrick Macaloko and Larry Holliday, kept their jobs but were suspended, according to reports. In the December 28th report, Macaloko said he had seen Hall and Holliday kiss while watching football at a party, and said Hall had kissed his own wife, Amy, after learning they had an open marriage, according to the document. The officer says Jedediah saw the kiss and told officials he really wasn't on board with his wife having a threesome with the Magalocos, but she continued to have a relationship with him, investigators said. So let this be a lesson, people. Just don't shit where you eat, especially if you have high-profile jobs, because everything's a news story nowadays. You ever notice that?
Yeah, there's not really a whole hell of a lot of privacy, but also, I mean, if you're going to be a quote-unquote public servant, you're going to basically be under public scrutiny, whether you want to be or not.
Yeah, if you're going to be, I mean, it's not like we have any love for the cops here, but if you're going to be a cop, maybe don't do that shit on duty, you know? Wait till you're off duty, please. Yeah, when you're supposed to be serving the public, maybe serve the public instead of, serving your fellow officers.
Man, how did you hop up on that soapbox?
I don't know, man. I just, I'm always, me. I like to climb up soapboxes. Fuck my life up.
Well, okay, the only thing I have to say about this is all the memes that we're focusing in on the female part of this and what she did were clearly misogynistic because there were several other officers involved.
Oh, man, and tons of them.
There's a bunch of some other stuff about this that seems a lot more off than just the fact that she was having a lot of sex with other officers.
Well, I mean, it sounds like she's cheating on her husband.
Well, at the very least, yes, she is cheating on her husband.
Or violating boundaries that he maybe, I don't know, man. Just sounds like, it sounds like everyone in this particular story has some answers to give to somebody. Everyone needs to be held accountable in this story. At least she wasn't the only one fired.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, everybody took a hold of this and all the memes went crazy about it.
Well, memes are going to do what memes are going to do.
They're going to become sexist racist right off the bat, too. Yeah.
You could at least say, however, that she wasn't the only one fired and the administration fired everyone else who was involved to whatever degree they were involved in. And then 2 who were maybe just more in the peripheral involved got suspended. So at least she wasn't the only one to face consequences.
Right. If I can lose my job in the mortuary for having sex, then they can lose their jobs as cops.
Good God almighty, man. How many lawyers you got in the room right now?
All of them that are screaming at me right now. So
yeah, just yelling at you.
With that, I'm going to play the Ending Legion show promo. All right. And when we come back, we will have the song Wild Horses as covered by Massey Star.
Don't they know you're in the middle of a show? What a bunch of assholes.
Right?
If you enjoyed this show, then make sure you check out the other great shows on the Legion Podcast Network, like Cinema Psyops, Cinema Beef, Devour the Podcast, Duncan and Bo Come Correct, Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, Friday the 13th, Get Slayed, The Helming Power Hour, Hello, This is the Doom Show, Hero Hero Go Show, Kill the Cast, Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space, Jerry Hates Action, Legion After Dark, Mental Health, Obsessive Cinema, Discourse, Pick 6 Movies, the podcast by The Cemetery, the podcast on Haunted Hill, the Psychosemantic Podcast, Rick Radio, House of Wax, Dude Looks Like the 80s, Rabbit and Red Radio, the Shadecast, Short Bus Cinema, 2 Drink Minimum Commentaries, the VD Clinic, Who Will Survive Horror Podcast, and Witch vs. the Doomsday Clock. With such a widespread of shows, there is guaranteed to be a niche for you to fall in love with. Horror, politics, movies, books, sex, music, commentaries, health, video games, kaiju, action, news, comedy, and opinions that would most likely get you killed in some parts of the world. We are proud to bring you some of the best podcasting in the world. Check us out at www.legionpodcast.com, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and any other dark corner of the internet where podcasts can be found.
Music this week is definitely quite mellow.
Yeah, man. Jesus Christ. What are we doing with ourselves around here?
Well, and apparently...
Back to death metal next week, you understand?
Apparently, people who write songs about horses write very mellow songs.
Yeah, it sounds like it, yeah.
If you'd like to find the other instances where we may have played the most mellow song we have ever played, all of them are available at legionpodcast.com/cinema-psyops-podcast. That's our main landing and launching page.
Yeah. Oh,
good place.
I tell you, man. Just fucking, what a weird week. It's been a weird week.
The best place to get a hold of and talk to either the folks behind the scenes that make shows at Legion Podcasts or also fellow listeners like yourself is our Legion Discord chat, where you can just basically have a nice chat and or conversation about the things that you are watching or what's kind of going on in your life. It's a lot of fun. Head on over there. Doesn't always become the bustling chat box, but every now and then I have like a whole wall of text that I have to catch up on.
Yeah, right? Jesus.
Yeah, it's like any other forum. It happens like that.
Always does. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go through the whole like meme routine on how we get the memes shared. All right, here, this is how it goes.
Here's how the memes go.
First, it is all posted 3 times daily directly to the Instagram feed, and then shared from there to the Facebook page, Cinema Psyops. The Instagram feed is cinema_psyops. The Facebook group that it's shared to from that page is Cinema Psyops. My main page that it's shared to, I am Court Psyops. If you have any questions about that whole entire thing that I just said, but for some reason know how to write down my email in time as I say these words, you can ask those questions to cinemapsyopscourt@gmail.com. Now, apparently some of you are getting stuck in my junk folder, so please bear with me if that happens to you, because apparently sometimes that happens. I'm sorry.
Why are you throwing things in your junk? You got a lot of junk in your trunk there, Court.
Yeah, apparently so. If that's the case, just hit me up on Messenger. I am Court Psyops there on Facebook. That's how you can get a hold of me. Well, while you're out there not giving a fuck about any of this stuff and wondering why I still read it off at the end of every single show, kick the fuck out of this weekend. Make it just packet loss or whatever coming through on me. So I won't record to this computer. I'm going to record to the cloud, and that should get your track individually with mine.
Recording in progress.
Okay, that's recording. And did you hear the okay? Is it?
Yeah.
It's loud enough then?
I heard that. Yep. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. All right, well, let's go ahead and get the show started, and don't even worry about recording on your side. I'm recording your track through the Zoom here locally.
So I don't need Audacity at all.
No, that's the less likely to crash your computer as possible, I think.
Yeah. It's been a weird day and of course it's the day, like I said, I had the most clips ever in my history. But yeah, that's just how it was going to go today, I guess. Worked fine last week. Last week my computer worked perfect, so I ran a huge update on it, and everything was going swimmingly until now.
It's all right, man. We'll work it out. We'll find a way to make the show happen. Here we go.
All right.
Matt finds it hard to write notes with one hand.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, especially, I don't know, man, the same hand for writing and other things.